I was 10 toes down. I was like,
know.
no, Rhonda.
You were like, no way.
And I was like, holy shit. I stand corrected. He really done made them swallow those fucking things. That's crazy.
And that's crazy because it's like them pooping it out later. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, that's thinking
like,
about that too.
I can't even.
Too much.
I can't even. They better have gotten some good fucking money.
Oh, they better.
Shit. Hello, and welcome to the All Nighter Podcast,
where the insomniacs come to get silly.
And we're your hosts, Ashlyn Benson, Alexis Leach, and Rhonda Lou.
Yo, hello.
Hi. Welcome
y'all.
Back.
We're back on the floor.
Yes.
Did you think we'd ever come back?
Who knew? Who knew we'd make it back?
I know it's like we've been not as frequent, you know.
Yes.
But
There's
we
been a
just
lot
been
going on.
busy as shit, dog. You ever have that?
Yeah. No, well, like I was telling Ashlyn, like Chad and I have been talking about how like weird it is that like our busyness has become so normalized for two people who were fairly fucking isolated for an extended period of time. It's kind of a trip.
Is it jarring to your guys' systems, like with how busy you are, or does it feel good?
It mostly feels good. I think that there's some times where we're just fucking exhausted or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the vast majority of the time we're doing a lot of really fun shit, and so it kind of makes up for it in a lot of ways.
Gives life.
Yes, exactly. Like,
does it give you will?
It does.
You have the will.
Yo, I even wrote a song about that recently. I'll have to send it to you. Cause yeah, I was playing with that when I was kind of like in between of like feeling kind of worn down in different ways or whatever. But the end of it kind of talks about like having that will and like just fucking trudging through the weird moments or whatever. Cause yeah, well, I had told you at Gypsy this last week, I'd had a seizure that morning, the morning that we were hosting that night. And like in the first song that I did, it was like mostly fine. But then in the second song, I started getting these like muscle spasms, like midway through the song, like abdominal muscle spasms that were making me go like this. And like it kind of scared me as far as like I didn't know how long it was going to last. And I was like, bitch, what the fuck is this? I hadn't had something
I'm sure it affected your singing, huh?
Well, yeah, I mean, it was like just making it like kind of jumpy or whatever. It only lasted for like 10 to 15 seconds maybe. And like part of me was like, should I stop? But I just kept going anyway, and I was like, I'll figure it out. But yeah, that hadn't happened to me since I was like really underweight. And so that's why I was like, what in the fuck? And yeah, what made me realize that I've had growth though is that like instead of the embarrassment kind of taking the forefront and having the most weight or whatever, like there was more concern for myself as to why it happened. Mm-hmm. But I honestly think that it was a combination of like A, the heat, and B, when I have a seizure, or when anybody has a seizure, especially tonic-clonic, your body is just so tense and does get kind of like twisted and like taut in a way. Because even when I come back from the seizure, it's like I almost have to like actively make different parts of my body relax again because they're just all
tense as fuck.
Yeah, and it almost feels like a forced workout as far as like the soreness
because their muscles
and
and stuff are like, yeah.
And I do think that maybe I just like got kind of twisted or something when it happened, and I was just like, just because I ended up performing that day anyway, because I like there was that stubborn part of me that was like, I'm gonna fucking do it, because like the week before that I had the seizure, the day before I was like, I'm not performing, I can't do this. But then that day I was like, no, I'm gonna do it. And it's like I didn't totally regret it. There was a part of me that was like, you know, shit, you just kept singing anyway, so there's a version of you that never would have fucking done that, so it's fine.
It's kind of like you it's like if you were a superhero, your superpowers like pure will and love, and then at times like the spider effects or whatever. It's like, oh God, what's happening? And then you're like back to normal. But
You know who didn't have superpowers?
Who?
Nate Jacobs.
oh man, he got booked
Bro.
this season in Euphoria, dude.
So let's just talk about that, shall
Yeah,
we?
so
get into
we're
it.
We're gonna say spoiler
Oh, yeah.
alert
all the
all
way. I'm
over.
gonna put it in the title too because this was a primary
Yes.
discussion of ours for
And
Euphoria.
I was also
this
going to
season.
say we can put the timestamps of where you can skip over that part if you don't want spoilers.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes. Where should we start?
Yeah. So first of all, I'm just kidding. What the fuck was Nate and Cassie's storyline?
Yeah, I mean,
Honestly, I feel like the way that I took it is that these were these two characters that kind of did shady / hurtful, kind of deplorable at times
Karma.
things. Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I think he was trying to do with it, is that these were these two hateable characters that kind of got theirs.
Yeah, but I mean Armenians. I don't know. It just seemed so outlandish.
Yes.
Like, I don't know. There
was
was
such an intense left turn from like what they were experiencing before.
Exactly.
You know?
Like, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. I understand, there's the time jump and it's so
Yeah,
long
the
after
years of
high school or
progression,
whatever.
yeah.
But it's like,
I mean, there were
Really? I don't
aspects
know.
of his of Nate's storyline that was kind of believable in
Yes.
that, like I think especially like a kind of a spoiled rich kid inheriting daddy's business or whatever, maybe, yeah, like
But,
falling
like,
into some
the way that my opinion had left off with it was that he was going to take his dad's business and like do something good with it.
well, right, and it seemed like he was actually
Because
trying to, which was
Exactly.
interesting.
Well,
In that, like, well, then there was just that endangered. Well, and I have actually heard that in California, developing is
yes,
pretty
it is
big
very
issue.
hard. Yes, because
Yeah.
of all of yes.
Yeah,
It was so funny because Adam has only ever seen this season.
Yeah.
So he was watching
What
the things
fuck
happening
did
to
go
Nate.
on in the first season?
Yeah, he was like, "What? What did Nate do in the first ones that
deserve this?"
Yeah,
yeah, because he was just getting beat the fuck up, and I mean, honestly, and it's funny. Like, I will say that his I said this in the last episode too. His character was more sympathetic in this season than it has ever been.
yeah. And damn, there were definitely some scenes where it's hard to watch, dude.
Yes,
Like,
yeah.
I can't remember. I mean, I'm trying to the one thing too, I kind of wanted to talk about it last time, but since I was not feeling well,
I wonder if it's what we had talked about.
what, the Cassie baby scene or whatever?
Oh no,
Oh, well, yeah. There
we
was
hadn't
like,
gotten to that yet because I hadn't seen it.
Oh, okay,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah,
Like,
she had only seen the doggy one.
I really hated that. And I know that, I understand Cassie's a crazy, desperate character, and I guess that's
And it is a fetish
what
thing.
they're trying to show, but I don't know, that one was hard.
Yeah. Well, there was a lot. So outside of the swallowing of the actual balls,
And that's
that we
insane
discussed.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I saw that.
I was 10 toes down. I was
I
like,
know.
no, Rhonda,
You were like, no way.
And I was like, holy shit. I stand corrected. He really done made them swallow those fucking things. That's
And
crazy.
that's crazy because it's them pooping it out later.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
was
that's
thinking about that too.
I can't even.
too
I can't
much.
even.
That's too
They
much.
better have gotten some good fucking money
Oh,
for
they
that shit.
better.
Well, so yeah.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of stuff. There was a lot of different scenes that I felt like were fairly uncomfortable for a lot of the actors. Eventually, I mean, with Nate in the box or whatever, that's probably the least. I mean, with the snake and whatever. I mean, I get how some people would have a phobia of that.
Those were
but
real snakes.
Yeah. But at least fake, fake rattlesnakes. But one of the ones that stuck with me quite a bit was Hunter Schafer's position when she was getting saran wrapped or whatever. Because I mean,
I was
feel
just what even are we? Why?
I mean,
Hunter Schafer's character could have literally not been in the whole season, and
Yeah.
there would have been no difference. One, did we not learn from fucking Cal Jacobs? First of all, It's almost like he just doesn't like Hunter Schafer. Like, why did you even write her into this season?
I
Why?
mean, as far as like her reaction to what eventually happens or whatever, I mean, like I think she played a significant role in like kind of just showing these interactions between her and Rue and how they were kind of, how much they had shifted from what they were before or whatever, and this kind of being the primary love of Rue's life or whatever.
Jules didn't shift much.
Yeah,
She's
it
doing
was
the
like
same shit, just in a penthouse now.
yeah, and well, like, but
Basically using this dude for his money.
But that scene particularly, why I struggled with it was that wasn't even so much that, you know, they saran wrapped her face and only left her mouth open or whatever, but having her arms above her head. That is
probably
so
way longer than what we saw.
Exactly. Yes. I'm like, how long did they have her like that? It is so bad to keep your arms above your head, like for your heart. Like you can, for real, you can faint. You can have a heart attack. Like I don't know if you remember, Miss Bailey used to come into class and like do these tests of like you hold your arms out for a certain amount of time, but past a certain point, your heart can actually start fucking up and having problems or whatever. And so for her to be stuck like that, like for God knows how long, like I want to imagine that they saran wrapped her up to a certain point and left her arms free.
Could they have ever used
I'm
a
sure
body
they did,
double?
yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was her. That looked like her
Like the
body,
whole
her
time?
face.
I'm sure it was
yeah.
probably her the whole time, yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, maybe it was something medically challenging like that. Maybe they didn't have her arms up that long, but...
But at the same time, the man will swallow balloons.
Yeah,
True.
exactly. Exactly. And well, I mean, like when Rue was in the ground. She was in a box in the ground, but she was fully buried. So it's like they rely on practical effects a lot in Euphoria. And
Hey, I mean, there are actors that do consent to stuff like that. I mean, Tom Cruise, God, as much as I hate him, does all of his own stuff. Sorry, Tom Cruise. I don't like you very much.
yeah, well, like actually, one of the dudes, one of Lori's boys or whatever, the one that lassos Rue.
Oh,
He's
Yeah,
like a
he-
real...
Yeah, he's like a real like stuntman.
Is that the same dude that's in Lowdown that plays the taller? I need to look it up. But the whole time I was like, I've met him. I'm pretty sure, but I couldn't tell if it was actually him or not. I didn't actually look at the character listings.
He
and their
looked
names,
really
but,
familiar, but I couldn't place him anywhere.
I can't remember who he is in the Lowdown, but he's like a skeezy guy, kind of like how he was in this as well. But yeah.
Yeah, and like, you know, like the use of slurs throughout at different points, the F slur, the R slur, all that stuff. It's like, I understand that these were like characters that also, again, we were kind of like meant to hate. And well, like with Nate, he was like screaming the F word when like he was getting screwed over or whatever. And it's
Well,
like,
and he was that type of guy, I
exactly.
guess. But,
Yeah.
but my main thing was just the way that the black people were talking to each other. It's
Yes,
like,
too. The way that they were written.
Like how
each other, things
Alamo,
like,
like
that.
especially when he was going after, I can't remember what his name was, and the kid
The kid.
with the younger black
Oh,
black
oh,
kid.
yeah, yes, yeah.
Like makes him pee himself and all that.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, because he was he brought him like too short of pants or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And he just like loses his shit all because Lori got one over on him or whatever. So he's all pissed off, and then he takes it out on this kid.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ooh, sorry. I don't know. In my humble opinion, I did not like the whole season. It had its moments, it had its good moments. Like I did enjoy seeing Rue and Maddie interact. But I was telling Rhonda yesterday when we saw each other, I was like, do we really expect to believe that Maddie's that naive that she just Rue's going on about the Nazi
DEA.
cowboys and or Nazis and black cowboys and DEA this and that, and I'm like, do we really think after all of the
She
stuff that
was
she
the
was able to
least-
uncover in season 1, after all the things she did in season 1 and 2, all of this stuff, we really think that she's just gonna drop that knowledge on this guy that's clearly skeezy and weird? Like, no.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
I honestly think that was like one of the weakest and laziest plot devices
100%.
that they
I also
were
thought Nate's
using
death was really lazily written. Like, a rattlesnake falls down the hole randomly. Okay, it would have been more believable had he just suffocated in that box.
I mean, I will say that there was some kind of like power to him thinking that somebody
was
was
there.
somebody was there to help him, and like, oh, thank God, or whatever. There was something to that, as far as like seeing him kind of experience that.
Hope,
and it seemed
then seeing him come to fate with this thing's gonna bite me.
Yeah,
because you kind of see him kind of
like recognize.
That's why I love him. That's why I love Jacob
Elordi?
Elordi. God, I always say his last name wrong. I always want to say Eldori, and I'm like, that's not it. It's Elordi. Elordi.
Yeah.
And it is Jacob, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I say it a lot when I'm like exclaiming
Nate
instead
Jacobs.
of.
That's what. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever
But you see
instead
him,
of saying Lordy, I'm like Jacob Lordy.
Yeah. But that's why I just really like him as an actor, because in that box when the snake is on top of him and he's like, oh fuck, like still kind of like is anybody up there? Then he finally takes like one breath, looks at it, and then you hear it bite him and all that shit.
Yeah.
I was like, damn. That's some good shit.
That's something I will say too, at the very least, is that like all the actors did amazing.
Oh, yeah, like all the actors
with the
are
writing
great.
that they were working with, they did amazing.
Yeah, the guy who played Alamo, and all of them are good,
yeah.
but he was a good, like, he brought some life to him for sure, and then Ollie was
like,
really
I didn't
good.
like his character being written into the story really at all, but I did like the actor that played him, because he did bring very good conviction to it, and played the character well.
Yeah.
And I had read somewhere that he like stayed in character like 24/7 or something like that,
Yeah,
as
that
well,
doesn't
like
surprise
Offset.
me. Yeah. But yeah, like with that scene with Maddie, it's like they could have very easily had like Lexi call her, you know, and then he'd be like, answer it. Yeah. And even if she didn't have it on speaker, she's just yelling and talking so
like,
loud that
mean?
he hears it.
Yeah.
Yes. Like there was so many other ways for him to hear that information that would have been so much more believable
Other than
Maddie just
who was
being
already
like,
so
oh yeah,
street
she's
smart. Yeah,
exactly.
in the first and second season.
Yeah, like with Cassie or Lexi, that would have either one of those characters, absolutely.
I did love to see the downfall of Lexi, or I'm sorry, not Lexi, Cassie. Hate her.
I never like fully hated her. I will say like, I mean, it will, and that's something else that was weird too, is that I ended up, and like Sam Levinson talks about how Cassie and Maddie kind of become the love story of this final season.
I'm sorry, I didn't like that. I didn't like it.
I was kind of fine with it.
I didn't like it.
And I mean, I think it's like rare for that to happen with the history that they had, but for them to kind of be bonded through all of this fucking crazy trauma and whatever,
but see,
and Maddie becoming her boss, it was also kind of like there was some karmic satisfaction there.
That
or
I
whatever.
liked. That I liked, especially when she was like, "And I'm not just your manager, I'm your boss bitch." Yeah, I was like, "Hell yeah, hell yeah, Maddie." But then they like turn it into like this weird love thing, and I was like, and it's not even just that it's two women, because I'm fine with that. It's just that after everything that Cassie did, I'm like, why? But I do understand it's more of like a love friendship.
Yes.
But
well, and
mean,
Maddie can also see, I think,
where
more
it comes
than
from with
anything, that
Cassie.
like Cassie is like, she doesn't run off morals in any way. She's just like
all feeling
desperate for the things that she wants. I mean, because she was also so desperate for Nate at the time too, you know, so there's just kind of like this constant theme of desperation with her that kind of ended up getting her nowhere.
I think that's the thing with Maddie and Cassie. I think is Maddie understands Cassie in a way that probably nobody else does, and I think for them it did kind of make sense. Like I could kind of see myself in a similar situation with someone. Well, actually, I mean, this is maybe TMI, but I had a friend who was fairly like maybe a couple years younger than me or whatever, and the guy that I was dating at the time, it was like not the first time, but one of the first times she got high, and she like tried to kiss him, the guy that I was dating, and I didn't get mad at all. He got very upset, and understandably so, I think. But I never held it against her past that point, because I kind of knew where it was coming from, and I was like, you're young, you know, you're stoned, you know, it's just whatever.
That's different. Cassie very intentionally knew exactly what the fuck she was doing. She wasn't high. Well, I mean, obviously they were partying drunk all through that.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
Even after the fact, when she was sober, when she was making these conscious decisions, she still chose to fuck over her best friend.
Right.
I just find her to be a very selfish character, just overall in general.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And me, I guess, fuck it, whatever. Maddie must be a better person than I, because I would not be able to do it. But I mean, there are those things where I do feel bad. I do feel bad for Cassie. I feel bad for younger Cassie.
Yeah,
I feel
exactly.
bad for the
There you
Cassie
go.
whose dad abandoned her. I feel
Right.
bad for the Cassie who, because of that, obviously has this over hypersexualization of where she feels she needs to grasp onto anybody that's going to give her attention, which we see a lot in parent abandonment situations, whether
Right.
it's the dad or the mother or what have you.
Yeah, and well, like even the
You know.
fucking scene where she's walking down the aisle and the mom is just like, yeah, when
Drunk as fuck and like,
and going off about like, yeah, my wedding day was that last happy day with
ever.
your father
It's like,
or
why
whatever.
are you telling
and
this
like,
to your daughter on the?
yeah, and I mean, like, it does almost paint this very clear picture of probably what that dynamic was like, you know, just throughout the series, as far as like she was almost like just that
And though
therapist
Lexi,
sounding board for the mom, and just like hearing all the shit forever, you know, and not really being seen.
And though Lexi does, you know, seem to love her sister, you know, it's more of like a "you're my sister, so I have to love you" kind of situation.
Yeah, there
I feel
is like a very lack of emotional
because I mean,
connection
when her boss is like, they loved your idea, but you know they want to go a different way. Are you okay telling your sister? She's like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Meanwhile, her sister's like getting tied up by that Armenian dude
I
or
know,
whatever.
yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't know. The Armenians that's the writing part that I just did not like. I didn't like the Armenians and I didn't like Alamo. I would have been it would have been a lot more believable, like I said to you guys earlier, if they had just done Alamo's writing in a sense.
With Lori,
Lori.
And the family, yeah.
Yes, it would, I mean, the way that they operated, it would make much more sense if that's what they would have stuck with. I mean, that's who Rue stole from, you know, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, I don't know.
Well, yeah, I feel like the biggest thing that just didn't make sense to me from the beginning of the season was just like, you know, so much of the past seasons was, you know, Rue struggling with this addiction like so intensely that it was like affecting
everyone around her. And
then all of a sudden she's kind of like just a drug mule and she like has it under control. Like,
right, yeah.
I was like, how, if you're that addicted, how can you also be a drug mule and not be like
using on a
you
regular,
know, like,
yeah.
I don't know. And then
Because I mean, the girl that was using,
Yeah, Faye.
no, Angel, the one that goes missing in the beginning, he sends her to rehab, and then she finds the ID in the safe or whatever.
Right, yeah.
And I'm like, so even if, because I mean, there were, well, no, because she stays sober that whole time, doesn't she?
yeah, she like
The vast majority of the time, like I think she
like,
maybe
smoke
took a
weed
yeah,
sometimes.
Yeah.
she'll smoke weed or drink a little bit.
Yeah,
or whatever,
she was like,
but,
what do they call it, California sober?
right,
or whatever.
yeah.
I just don't see Rue being able to be California sober. Like, I feel like she takes one thing and she just goes on a spiral. That's what we saw in the first 2 seasons.
Yeah, I mean, like if she had been in a more intensive form of rehab or something, or if they
Right.
had even just like glossed over that as being a part of the past, like while
Right.
like during COVID or
And they
something.
didn't. In fact, part of the past that they gloss over is that she fucking relapses, and and she says she relapses bad. So obviously she wasn't going to rehab.
Yeah,
so
I mean,
that
like
is the part that I do find the hardest to believe with her.
Yeah, or maybe if they had shown some more intensive stuff between her and Ali, kind of getting to that place of better
Yes, yeah,
control
yeah.
or whatever, that would have made a lot more sense too, as far as like how she was able to maintain throughout a lot
but pretty
of this
much
season.
like every addict I know, they can't even like smoke weed or you know like do anything.
Well, I mean, no, I think there is some leeway there as far as like
If you're a true addict like Rue, like I'm not just saying someone
Right.
who has like a drinking problem or something where it feels like it's still manageable.
Like a functioning alcoholic,
you
or
know,
something.
like
That's how my ex was. You can bleep his name out, but that's how he was. He was a functioning alcoholic. Like, I didn't want to admit it. I remember my mom's gonna, if she watches this one, she'll be like, "Yeah, that's right." And I'll be
I was right.
I remember when I moved into our apartment together, he had like a bunch of gin bottles and stuff and like whatnot. And I was like, oh yeah, he only drinks like sometimes. He drinks when like he gets off work, blah, blah, blah. And my mom was like, okay, whatever. You know, it's kind of weird, blah, blah, blah. And then later on down the line, I was like, oh yeah, maybe this is a problem.
yeah.
Because yeah, that motherfucker would get drunk.
Yeah.
Like, it was more so like into the ending of our relationship when the drinking got really bad. And I was like, okay, maybe I should probably bounce out now, which I did. He went to work one morning and I took my dog's kennel, anything that was important, like this is going to sound so silly, but my stuffed animal elephant that I had had since I was like very little. I took that with me, all my dog's toys because priorities. And then like, I think a few little things that I could fit in my car, and I just went home. I was like, fuck you. And then I left.
Yeah.
And I think I want to say I texted him like a few hours later, and I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm like not coming back. And it was like 2 weeks before our lease was up too.
Yeah.
So I was like, you can stay there and sulk on your fucking problems. Yeah. And then one time, he had paid for my phone, I think, to get on his phone plan while we were living together or something. And I had absolutely obliterated that phone at the river like a week before. Like I got smashed that phone onto the rock on accident. And he came to get it. And I think he brought... Oh, we got our reimbursement back from our deposits on our apartment or whatever. And so he was going to give me half because we had both put half in or whatever. And I can't remember what he said, but I was sitting in his truck with the door open and he was like, actually something. So I think I'm just going to take all of this actually or something. And I was like, fuck you are. That what? What are you doing? Meanwhile, my mom's like looking out the blinds. Doesn't know a lick of what's going on. And then all of a sudden he's just like, fuck you. And like starts driving. And I'm like, what the and he's like speeding through the neighborhood pretty much. Like probably put his foot all the way to the pedal.
Oh my God.
And I was like, I started screaming. I was like, if you don't pull this motherfucker. And he did. I think I scared him because he pulled over real quick. And I took my check and I walked home and I was like, you just better stay the fuck away from this house from now on because eat a bag of dicks. Yeah. And that's why I say, because then I later learned that he started doing heroin and all this other kinds of shit after we had broken up, and it had been like, I think a few months. I had seen one of his friends at the bar and he was like, hey, you know, so-and-so is doing like heroin and stuff now. And I was like, damn, sucks for whoever's talking to him now. Like, why are you telling me this? So I don't see Rue being able to do that. Like, because I just, whenever he would do stuff like that, it was like, it didn't matter what he could get his hands on. He would do whatever he wanted.
I mean, most people are so triggered too if the substances are around them.
Yes,
you know?
Exactly.
Like there's some like previous alcoholics or whatever that can be around like drinking sometimes
or people
whatever.
that are drinking, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
And then there's others that absolutely cannot because they just cannot control it.
Yeah, and then there's some alcoholics who can like smoke weed or transition to it, but if they're a straight up addict where it's like
substance
any
abuse
substance,
overall,
then it's like, which it kind of seemed like Rue was at least.
Rue just did like pretty much anything she could get her hands on in those first 2 seasons. I mean, the suitcase she stole from Lori had multiple things in it.
Right,
like that was,
and she was like, oh, whenever she opened it. So,
yeah, I mean, you know, maybe there's something to be said for like her family having like kind of cut her off for a period of time, and that maybe, you know, like triggering something in her to try. But yeah, I mean, there's. And just having to like rely solely on her own wits and so I mean like part of it I could see an argument for there being like a survival aspect to it, and that the circumstances that she found herself in, she had to be more clear-headed just to survive it, you know, with Lori and the boys and Alamo and whatever. But I do think that even if they had just given a little bit of backstory of like Ali sponsoring her through a little intensive rehab or whatever, then I think that would have cleared up a lot of it as far as there being just kind of like just answering that question of like how she got there, you know. But then also too, for her to survive all this insane shit in the finale, you know, getting lassoed and dragged by a fucking horse and all this fucking shit.
Which also was a little hard to watch. Yeah. As a black girl getting dragged by a horse, like, I was like...
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, there was, like you said, there was a lot.
Well, they were the Nazis.
Right.
So.
Exactly.
And I mean, he's talking about, you know, what they made the the women do or whatever in the hall or during World War II.
Well, no,
or
the
whatever,
soldiers.
What does he say?
They made the soldiers raise the dogs.
That's right,
and
just
give
to take
them
them
love
out.
and care. Yeah.
And he's like, that's what I'm gonna make you do to Rue, and it's like, you're fucking crazy.
Yeah, he was a son of a bitch.
Faye fucking pissed me off because it's like, what the fuck, Faye, you dumb bitch. She's like, I can't believe you lied to me, and it's like, what are you talking? Your dumb fuck boyfriend probably spent all the money. You dumb bitch. Like,
yes,
what?
Yeah. No, it was all that whole thing was kind of crazy.
And I swear to God, no one wants a fucking spinoff of Wayne and goddamn Faye. Don't do it.
Please, God, don't.
Because they're the only ones that like get away or whatever. It like never explains what happens with them. Like she flags that car down and then she waves them over to him, assume either hijack them or
now a Maddie spinoff. I would take
Maddie spinoff would be.
I would take that 100%. But
maybe we could get some goddamn answers.
Well, like Rue surviving that shootout where he's like, following her through the basement and whatever, and the lasso and the horse and like all this bullshit, and then only for her to go that way. But it just, I mean, like, I can see a person like Alamo doing that and intentionally giving her something that has fentanyl in it, and her thinking that it's just a regular, Percocet or whatever, but it seemed like there were all these different things that were almost trying to symbolize some kind of hope for her or like whatever. And then all these perfectly timed things for her to survive, and then for her to go that way. It was just a trip overall. And I'm sure that's exactly what it was intended to be. And like we talked about how like that, the death scene was beautifully shot. There was a lot that I respected about that.
It was like my only favorite part of the whole thing.
I think you called it a saving grace. Yeah, of that, in that, like, her reaching out and this kind of phasing light and whatever, and like struggling to breathe and like driving past her riding past her former self and having that moment with like Fezco too. I don't know if that was something that was previously shot. I'm assuming
it was.
It was from the first season.
That's what I thought. Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure Zendaya shot it herself. I'm pretty sure.
What?
Well, directed that scene. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, very cool.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure it was like her idea to do that part.
Yeah, and then like giving her mom a hug and that her mom turning into her father. Like I think there was a lot of symbolic beauty there, and like with Ali, that was something else I kind of had a struggle in believability. Is
up
that
until he goes into the strip club?
Yes. Up
until he goes to the strip
exactly. Club. Well, because like I could see Ali maybe trying to seek Alamo out to kill him directly, but like kind of doing it with all these people around, putting all these other people at risk in a way, like, and locking the thing. Like, I mean, like, I think
it would have been more symbolic to make him take one of those pills that he gave to Rue. Sit him down at that table and be like, you fucking take one now.
Yeah,
or something like that,
Right, yeah. I feel like there were other ways that
like
would have been
slip it in one of his fancy cocktails or something he's drinking. Or,
yes, exactly. Something more savvy that would fit, like a military member.
I think it was supposed to be more like a
Western,
like a black cowboy, Western showdown type of situation.
But I just feel like involving all those other people. And I do love when they show
that it clocks to Maddie, where he's like, "Who sent you, Rue?" And she was like, "Oh, fuck." And I'm like, "You're Maddie, keep your fucking mouth shut."
Yeah, dude. But yeah, I mean, and well, like the way that he's like, oh shit, the way that he is fucking like saying, oh, I want to have our and raise our cocoa babies and like all this stuff, and then immediately uses her as a body shield, like it's like, god damn it, dude. Like it's just, it's all a trip. And like, well, the whole scene that they shot at like 4 a.m, when they find Nate or whatever. I mean, there was different little creative parallels from some of the different shots, even like down to the other seasons, that I thought were a nice touch, but it was mainly the writing that I struggled with the most.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, like I said, the acting, top tier.
Yes, all of the acting was good, regardless of how much I didn't really like the season overall. All the actors did amazing.
Yeah, the shots, pretty top tier too.
Yeah. Most of like the directing and filming was good. Yeah.
But it was just that writing that was really kind of lacking in believability, and like I said, some of it just seemed kind of lazy. And I think that there were a lot of other ways to actually make it emotionally impactful.
Yes.
In a way that it didn't really. Like with Ali,
I wanted the emotional impactability that the scene of Rue dying had. I wanted that the whole season. I wanted, because like you guys said, the whole first and second season, we're seeing it from the addict's perspective. We're seeing it from Rue's perspective of
and those
what
seasons,
all this does. They were so
those first
good.
seasons, like I was going to try to go back and rewatch to like remember. But I couldn't because it was so emotional the first time.
Yes.
Like it would really affect my day.
I mean, it starts off, like you were saying, that first episode with Jules. Like it just starts off crazy.
Yeah, it was funny. My mother-in-law was like, should I watch Euphoria? And Adam was like, oh, I don't know, Mom. It's kind of intense. And
It's kind of intense.
she had like tried and she's like, oh, yeah, it's good. Yeah, I don't know if I can do it, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, like those, because by the time we got to this, and even Rue's death, like I was so emotionally detached, and I think also because of the believability factor that I just
felt was lacking.
Yes, it was the believability of it all.
Because like the first two seasons, it's like, even though Rue was like so flawed and kept making like all these mistakes, you just loved her so much, you know? And
oddly, I felt like we saw less of her humanity in this season and emotionality in this season than we did in seasons prior. As far as like there was just a lot more passionate scenes and emotional scenes on her end, as far as expressing some of the pain and all these different things that there really wasn't any of in this season. And up until that last scene, you know, and so it did kind of like lessen that impact a little bit, because so much of what she was dealing with was just like so absurd, and she's just like, you know, like what the fuck do I do at all times? But
I feel like they tried to do that with the antagonists of this season. They tried to make it personal and like you know, with the cutting off of the toe and like stuff like that, which felt pretty personal. However, the storyline following did not feel, again, believable or like, you know, I don't know, I just feel like they could have done a lot better in that aspect. I don't know.
A lot more justice by the characters, honestly.
Yes.
I feel. And so like, and there's also a discussion too that I wasn't even really aware of up until very recently, in that like, so when Sam Levinson first wrote the show, there's this Canadian photographer and videographer that he was really inspired by, that actually kind of like coined a lot of the like glitter tears and stuff like that, and like kind of videoing girlhood and femininity in this very like tender and kind of neon way or whatever, and he wanted her to direct it. And so her name is Petra Collins. Her work is amazing. And actually, she just recently did a photo shoot with Alexa Demi, which is very cool, very fucking pretty
Maddie,
too.
for people who haven't watched it.
Yeah, and her sisters. She includes her sisters in the shots. They're so fucking pretty, bro. I might put some of them in here.
I'm gonna have to look it up.
But anyway, they brought her out and had her on set for like 6 months, and then told her that she couldn't do it because she was too young. And so, but they kept all of her aesthetic that she had made for the show. But Sam Levinson basically got all of the credit because they didn't want to keep her. And so when I was like reading and hearing more about it and stuff and looking back at her previous work before the show was ever
So they didn't want her to direct it because she was too young?
Right.
Eat a dick.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And it was very fucking strange.
How old was she when they started directing? Or when they started production?
I think she was maybe like 24, 25
What?
or something like that. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. And it made me sad looking at all of it and she's even talked about the fact that like she's kind of distanced herself from a lot of her previous aesthetics because she feels like they were
like
taken
incorporated to fucking Euphoria.
Exactly.
Like whenever I thought, until you just told me, anytime I thought of like that type of aesthetic, I thought Euphoria.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's like,
so that's super fucking annoying.
Yeah.
Sam Levinson.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know if it was a Sam Levinson choice or an HBO, overhead.
Could see either or.
Exactly. Yeah. Or a combination of the two.
We'll never know.
Yeah. But yeah, that did make me sad. And it's like,
that's disappointing. Everyone go follow like her shit now.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, like the fact that some of the girls have done work with her, like photo wise and video wise, tells me that they saw, and respected her work, and
that's
they were like, we'll still work with you. They're idiots,
That sucks.
Yeah. And so, I mean, I don't know. So there's that whole thing. And I'm sure for an artist like that would be like so devastating to move your whole ass life and then only for them not to take you seriously and then still use all your vision.
Annoying. Yeah. That's annoying.
Yeah.
They just didn't want to pay her.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, and it kind of created like this greater discussion of how like a lot of women's art and stuff will kind of be used as like this inspiration or whatever, but it's always the men like taking the meetings and actually getting the opportunities to execute these things in a bigger way or whatever. And they just repackage it and call it their own, and it's like,
Speaking of men using women's ideas, I've been listening/reading the Testaments now that the first season has aired. Really good so far. Enrages me to listen to. However,
yeah, I bet
because it's just crazy. I don't know, like, because I mean, in The Handmaid's Tale, Serena Joy, I believe Margaret Atwood said was she took aspirations from different evangelists. I can't remember any other names because but that is where she took that from, and it's just so funny to me because in that storyline Serena Joy is basically who advocates for the structure of Gilead and like all this stuff and like was a writer, an author, of all these different books and whatnot. And it's just so funny that she contributes to the creation of a world where she's not allowed to read, not allowed to write, not allowed to do all these different things.
Right, yeah.
And it's just so crazy to me that people can do that. It's like, you're the real gender traitor. What does that have to do with anything we just talked about? I don't know, but it made me think about it, okay? Just a girl.
Well, yeah, I mean, sometimes, I do think we see examples of people.
Oh yes, men taking. That's right. They took her idea. Yes.
Right. Yeah.
That's where I was going with it. I forgot.
Yeah, but I think we do see examples of people that aren't operating within their best interest. Like politically or whatever, and think that if they're almost like the pick me of that side or whatever, that they'll get like special treatment or whatever. But it's like no, like these things will fuck us all.
I wish I could remember the name of one of the women that was inspired. Like she took
inspiration from.
I can't remember because a lot of people in the comments that I was reading were like, "Well, so and so, I will not tolerate the slander for her because she actually did so much for like the LGBTQ." And I'm like, "But how though?" And does she just do it because it's what she thought people wanted her to do? Because I cannot see an evangelist doing anything for anyone other than themselves.
No, there's definitely some examples here and there of some, maybe not evangelists, but like Christians.
That's what I mean, evangelists.
Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah, okay.
I'm talking like your, what's his name?
Oh, like the Joel Osteen.
Yeah, like the Joel Osteens of the world, the righteous gemstones of the world.
Right, yeah. The real life righteous gemstones.
Yeah, yes, exactly. Yeah, it's just, I just don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm like, why are you so crazy? It's the money. Money.
Yeah, I mean, like, as far as like Christians and stuff, like, say like that pastor that like talked to Trump or whatever. I feel like she was a true Christian.
Yeah,
she was,
yes,
like,
exactly.
Somebody who really had the sense.
Yeah,
And I wish I saw more of the sense.
I wish
and
more people saw
compassion, dude. Because it was very refreshing to see something like that.
I know. I saw this video. I mean, also it's like, who knows what's AI anymore?
Right. I know, brother.
I don't think it was, but who knows? But this video of this lady like coming up to this, like, at first you think it's a teacher, and she's like, "What's going on here?" And she's like, "Just I don't know." But the school was celebrating like Pride Week or whatever.
Oh.
And then the lady was like, "What's your shirt say?" And she says, "All is welcome here." And she's like, "You really think people want that? People want to be sending their kids to school with that message or whatever?"
I feel like I saw this video.
Yeah. And then she was like, "I know that there's a mom who's like super mad about this or whatever." And she's like, "Okay, well, send them my way if that's the case." Like,
right.
And she's like, "You need to keep moving though." And then eventually you find out she's the principal or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's just like insane to me that there's like Christians out there that are like mad with that messaging, you know?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah. When that's like kind of the messaging of the church
would say, you know, like,
yeah. Well, because I mean, the message of any church should be all are welcome here. It doesn't fucking matter what you do. It's crazy to me that wouldn't be the case.
I'm not into it.
Yeah, it's gross to me, honestly. Which I did see something with like Bernie Sanders had posted something about, you had mentioned AI. That he wants Americans to have he's created a bill that's going into the House and Senate of giving Americans a sovereign wealth fund of a 50% stake in these different AI companies, because they are technically what's the word?
Pulling from other sources that aren't their own.
Well, right. Yes. Creating from all like the massive collective human intelligence that it's learning from or whatever. He's making this case that that we should, that if it's going to exist, not only should we have some control over what is done with it going forward or how far it's being taken, but also that we should benefit from it as a whole and not the billionaires. Exactly. Yes. Yes. And I'm like, I would love to see that get passed. I know.
If that'll ever happen.
I know. I mean,
but we do got something to vote on though here June 16th.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
Raising
here
that minimum wage, baby.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah, and it's very important too, because like even like past like 2030 and stuff, it will set the rate continually, perpetually, to go with the rate of inflation. So it's not just something that will be for these couple of years and then it stagnates again for 20 years. No, like it.
So what about all these people that started off at fucking 725 like myself, who now, what's the word I'm looking for, or the words I'm looking for?
Because it's like
I've built off of 725 for 11, 12 years now, you know? So like, what about people who have done that, who are now making damn near the same amount as, you know, now these new minimum wage people that are starting out, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I guess you can't make everyone happy, but.
Well, yeah. Well, but the thing is that say that in 10 years or whatever, what you're making at that point becomes like closer to the minimum wage. It will still be being raised continuously. So, but it's like, you're kind of, even though you, like, I don't know if you make like 15, 16 an hour or whatever now, but you're kind of already ahead of these other people that are still making 725. So they will kind of be barely not even meeting you in a couple of years. They'll still be making
because it's going to be going gradual.
When you're still, and you might be making 17 or 18 at that point, you know. So it's there's still like a fairness to it in that way, because it's like, I mean, because it's similar for Chad. Like, Chad has been at his work for 10, 11 years or whatever, and he feels like he's standing still with all the raises that he's gotten because of inflation, you know?
Right.
But inflation for the minimum wage people is hitting them so much harder regardless, because they were already at such a fucking low point, that it's like impossible to live.
It's been impossible to live since I've been doing that, though.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, like, housing and shit has gone up so much, even just within the past fucking like 8 years in here. You know, one of the cheapest places to live, it has gotten so much harder. And it's like, I mean, I had said it on the last one. It's like Tulsa is a microcosm of the cheapest place to live. And that means, like, for everybody else, it's got to be 10 times worse. Like, every other fucking bigger city and shit, there have got to be a lot of people struggling beyond measure, comparatively. And I don't know, it all makes me fucking sad.
Hopefully we can get it up.
Yeah.
Nice for that.
I mean, but like we were saying, I mean, it will be gradual too.
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's what sucks too. It's not like it's gonna bump from $7.25 to $10 or $11, you know, when they pass it. Yeah, no, it's gonna be like over years.
Yeah,
it's going to gradually go up, and to try and avoid, you know, intensive inflation further, you know, or whatever. But it's like, okay, I mean, I feel like there should just kind of be.
Remember when they sent us money during the pandemic?
Well, right. And so, but that was actually like, that formed a case for so many people who had already kind of argued that there should be some kind of basic income, especially for people that are making under a certain threshold of money, because we were like, oh, we can do it.
Yeah.
And we can afford it and not crumble or inflation go insane or whatever. And there was so much relief there for so many people. And it's like, you know, like some of these like tech bros or whatever, you can hear them having these conversations on different podcasts with each other and shit, where they're like, well, what if we just like culminated pooled some of our own money together and, you know, kind of put it into these different like education institutions that we can use for our kids and like whatever. I'm like, you're talking about fucking taxes. Fucking like start paying your taxes, and then you might see your public schools start to benefit from it and like all this shit. I'm sure you'd be sending your kid to some private thing anyway, but it's just like, you know, it can go into the parks, it goes into the municipal funding for all these different things that make the city run better, you know.
If you don't live in Oklahoma, where they spend their tax money on bullshit for their schools that they don't need other than like books and shit, but whatever.
Wait, what?
Fucking Union spent like what? I don't even remember how much money on their new stadium, rather than paying for books that their students can actually fucking take home with them. I mean, I remember when I was in school.
Most of it's tablets now, because
which
everybody
is stupid. They need books, not tablets.
I mean, I do think that tablets.
Well, the thing is, they're having the tablets literally like read to them. They need to know how to read.
Yeah. Because
I'm all for tablets for doing your homework. You need to know how to read that homework. They're just having these things read to these kids. Like,
so a lot of kids are getting up in grades and they can't read.
It's bad.
Yeah.
This is why Oklahoma is 50th in education. They need books. They need to know how to read. We don't need however millions of dollars thrusted into our fucking football stadiums. Okay? No. They need books they can take home.
That's why I've been like thinking about taking Raya to this charter school. It's called Classical Learning, because they don't use tablets. Like they just use books and stuff.
I mean, I could see an argument for like, say, like,
or if you're
high
going to
school
use
students,
tablets, then
like,
you need to not have the tablet read to them. You can still have a tablet and read the tablet. You know,
but also I think
was gonna say,
certain
like,
age limit too.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, that's what I was gonna say, is that like if you're gonna have like the tablets and the computers and all that shit in high school, sure.
Yeah.
But up until that point, I think it should be pragmatic standard learning.
I mean,
because kids also don't actually, especially under a certain age, we're not meant to learn from screens. We're meant to learn from humans and each other and
words.
Well, I'm talking about when they get to the point where they can start reading.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's what I'm saying. They shouldn't have that.
I don't have a problem with the tablets as long as they're reading. But that's
like still first, second grade when you start reading.
And again, I don't have a problem with them reading from a tablet. That's fine. But they need to have human interaction. They need to be taught how to read. They should not be having this electronic system to read to them.
Yeah.
What are we teaching them?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
When I was in school, even then, I did not have books that I could take home with me. We had to leave all of our books at the school because we did not have enough to send home with students. That's crazy. Students need books to take home so they can do their homework. That's crazy. Crazy.
Well, we had like workbooks and stuff that we could take home, just not like the textbooks.
Yeah, you need your textbooks. You need textbooks to learn what you're doing in those workbooks. Unless those workbooks have instructions on what you're doing also, you need textbooks. You need textbooks that your teachers teach to you, that you are able to take home, that you can learn at home. That's what they did back in the days that you want us to go back to. We didn't have tablets. We didn't have that kind of shit. They had textbooks that they took home. They wrote their homework down on a sheet of paper. They didn't have workbooks. As far as I know. I don't fucking know. But back then, when they didn't have mass productions of workbooks and shit, they wrote down all their homework on leaf paper. That's what I'm saying.
On leaves.
And then, loose leaf paper. Yeah. And I'm already getting a headache now because it just fucking enrages me. They're like, why are we 50th in education? It's because we don't spend money where it's supposed to be spent. You fucking pieces of shit.
Okay, I'll say this. Instead of the stadium,
and they also don't pay their teachers
That's
enough.
Exactly what I was going to say. Yeah, I was like funnel
it gets me heated.
half of that money from the stadium.
I feel the heat rating off Alexis.
Because the teachers deserve it more than anybody.
Yeah, I think teachers should be getting paid as much as doctors. That's
100%, because they're teaching the future youth of America.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want the future youth of America to be fucking stupid and not know what they're being put into? No.
Yeah, well,
and it started going downhill when we were in school. That's when it started getting bad because we were, I think, like in the 30s, mid 40s whenever I was in school, ranking in education, and now we're dead fucking last. That should tell you something. That should open up your eyes to maybe what we're doing in our schools right now isn't working. Maybe we aren't paying our teachers enough. We're not spending enough on materials for students in school. We're not spending enough money on making sure those students eat, to make sure that they're healthy enough, vibrant enough, what's the word I'm looking for?
Have the fuel for life.
Intellectually.
Yeah, and if you are trying to force people to have kids, they should definitely be getting free school lunches for those who can't afford.
Right, yeah, 100%. Yeah,
it just makes no sense to me. It makes no sense to me. And then it's like, so where's my niece gonna go to school, dog? Like, hopefully that charter school she's talking about, because it seems like they do stuff a lot better than our regular public and maybe private schools. I don't know what goes on in the private schools nowadays. I just know what goes on in the type of school that I was going to.
Yeah, I mean, I think that there were a lot of really hardworking teachers that were getting underpaid when we were going to school, that I think 100% were doing their fucking damnedest.
Yeah, there were teachers that I definitely learned from that didn't do it for, I guess you could say, do it for the money.
Yeah,
they did it because they wanted us to have a better education. They wanted us to have a good time at school where we enjoyed learning. There were teachers that I enjoyed having that did teach me stuff.
Yeah,
but there were other teachers that you could tell were definitely burnt out, did not enjoy being there. Either that or they just enjoyed having like a little bit of a power trip, plus being paid shit money, to where they took it out on their students. And that's just not cool. That's not cool. You're putting the blame on all of these students not learning, yet you're the ones that are supposed to be pouring the money and I don't even know how to, I don't know, because I'm not the one that's in charge of all this shit. You people are, and you're obviously failing our state. So get it the fuck together.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about what the fuck did Governor Stitt just passed, the Everyone Day or whatever the fuck. What is
in
it?
the fuck?
Joy Day or some shit. Oh my God.
I didn't see nothing about it. What was that?
Obviously something to combat LGBT June fucking Pride Month. I'm assuming. What the fuck?
I was gonna say, yeah, I was like, what's Joy Day?
I mean, well, does that include the gays then? Because sure, whatever. I mean,
it's just straight people day.
My God. Yeah.
We're like, we don't feel seen enough.
Yeah. And well, like, actually, like, a lot of like queer creators and stuff have talked about how like they're like June used to be like the month that they could get the most partnerships and different brand deals and just like work overall, like if they were performers or whatever. And a lot of different creators have talked about how like so many companies have become so skittish of it, with different backlashes over different things that like this used to be their most lucrative month, and now it's like any other month, you know, as far as like actually. And I'm like, that fucking sucks.
It's just God authors every life. As image bearers, there is inherent dignity and value in every human life. That's why Oklahoma is proud to declare June as Life Month. We're committed to walking alongside every mother and ensuring the unborn are protected from conception through birth. So that's what we're celebrating for June. Eat my fucking dick, Governor Stitt. You're a piece of fucking shit, and I hate you. And this bill is fucking all the gay stupid. Too. And I hope every baby born this month comes out gay.
Yeah, there we go. Yes.
And hopefully by the time they are of adulthood, hopefully life will be a better fucking place, and we won't be stuck in the fucking horrible, judgmental shitstorm that is Oklahoma in 2026 right now, since you're so far up President Trump's ass that you can probably smell his shit from a mile away.
Well, dude, like Tulsa especially, like literally has one of the highest queer per capita than almost anywhere else.
Well, and it is very interesting because it's like, yes, like South Tulsa is like very conservative, you know, whatever. But you go downtown and it's like those free. People's kids, like,
right,
you know,
exactly, yes,
the one, you know, where it's just like, it's just so crazy. I mean,
your ex co-host from your old podcast didn't she come from like a very intense religious family that she's also very in the queer space, right?
Yeah. You know, it's just like. It's like, you know, you can pray the gay way all you want, baby, but the gay's here to stay.
And you can have fun, you know, and just accept that.
And like literally
one of his
reposts after was Sesame Street's Happy Pride Month from Sesame Street. Join us in celebrating and uplifting LGBTQ plus members of our community. And he reposted it on his Facebook and said, "This is the kind of content that doesn't need to be funded by our taxpayer dollars. That's why I vetoed funding of the OETA this season or session."
Oh,
session, not
God
season.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, all of that is just ridiculous, man. I mean, because the thing is that like how many... If you have kids, do you really want them, regardless of whether, say they were straight and say they were straight and say that they grow up to feel so hated and so ashamed of being straight and just fucking bullied their whole fucking life about being straight. Do you see like how fucking absurd that sounds and how cruel that is and unnecessary? When if you are a straight person, you have no control over what you're attracted to and who you fall in love with. If you're a woman, you fall in love with a man or whatever. You didn't choose that. That's something you feel. And for a queer person, it's exactly the fucking same. You know, there's no volitional thing that's happening there. You know, it's just a feeling. And it is a love feeling that everybody's entitled to feel and express. And it should be safe to express those things. It is not a harmful thing. It is not anything that will actually affect your fucking life. You know, it's only theirs, and it's nothing for you to worry about. You know,
It is interesting being a bisexual because you do kind of feel like, I mean, it's like I kind of have a choice a little bit, you know. But
I understand.
You know, no, I'm just saying as a bisexual myself, you know, of just like.
Well, and I think that's why there's a lot of bi erasure too, and that people will kind of just like, be no. Like, well, like, well, okay, you chose.
Because it's like there's really, for the bisexuals, it's like there's such a gray where it's like, you know, like. I mean, you know.
Well, but the thing is that you don't choose to be attracted to a man. You don't choose to be attracted to a woman.
Yeah, it's like the attraction is just there. I mean, and it's been there, you know, since I was young, you know. I mean, you know, you're kind of the same way as far as like we both ended up with men.
Yeah, but never saw that coming for me.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, like, I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, you know, it's like, how many of these people are actually just like highly, highly, highly repressed gay people, you know?
Oh, for sure.
But it's like, because sometimes I do think,
of them, but I do think it's a decent amount of them.
Like the ones who get like the most
angry,
mad, where it's like, why are you so mad about someone who's doing something in their life, you know?
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, I don't know. I mean, I guess, but then I also think some of it is programming of like what they're listening to and stuff. Cause like, I do have a friend who was like, saying things like about what these like they look like kind of non-binary kids were wearing and stuff. It's like, why do you care? Like, you know, it's just like,
yeah, let them express themselves. Let them figure themselves out. Give them time, you know, like,
I mean, and it's like, as a human who's just observing, like, you can dislike what someone is wearing or whatever, but keep it to your motherfucking self, you know? Dude. Like, it doesn't matter at the, you know, it's just like, I don't know. I've always thought, I mean, mainly too, I guess, because there's been periods in my life where I'll wear pretty like loud outfits or things that, you know, where it's like, I know it's like, whatever, like, like
more outside the standard or whatever, the norm.
Yeah, because it's like when you dress like that in Tulsa, it depends on where you are. If you're downtown, you're fine. If you're in South Tulsa, like, yeah, people kind of stare, like, whatever. But man, when I went to New York, nobody gave a fuck, and that was so nice.
Right. Yeah. Because everybody's the same. And well, that's the thing with downtown too, is everybody's kind of their own character downtown as well.
That's why I love Tulsa downtown. But it's like, I mean, I really do think that we are more split than, because it's like, I do like, will sometimes have these moments of like, oh, Oklahoma sucks, but there is still just as many of us who don't agree with all the conservative stuff that's been happening, you know, like there's a lot of us who do have, you know, either know or are related to a queer kid too, you know, or whatever, and we want better for them and better for us and better for our friends and, you know, all this stuff. So
yeah, I mean, like, if you want to make an argument that like surgical changes should happen past 18,
yeah, sure. I could see that.
Yeah, because I mean, you want to give them that time to figure it out. I would say that hormonally or whatever, if they are making the volitional decision to take different hormones or whatever at a younger age, I think that's fair enough. But surgically, if you want to make that argument, totally fine. I get it. But it's like, I mean, as far as it being generally, I think people tend to think about, on the conservative side or whatever, tend to think about it as like this propaganda of queer people being accepted as harmful because it will expose my kids to it, and then maybe they'll go in the queer direction or whatever. But it's like,
you know how many straight parents raise gay kids?
Exactly. You know, yes. Like, it's like, you don't catch the gay, bro. Like, you just are or you're not, you know, or bi or whatever. Like, and it's for them to decide. And it's like, no matter what you try to shelter them from or whatever, things like crushes and stuff, they're going to experience those things no matter what media or whatever they're exposed to. You know, if they start crushing on a boy, or they start crushing on a girl or whatever, just because they're in proximity to other kids their age that are that age or whatever, they know, you know, whether or not they're experiencing something like that, regardless of whether or not they've ever seen a gay couple in their life. You know, it's like, it has so little to do with that.
Well, it feels like too, like some parents think that you have to like steer your kid in such a certain direction to make them be such a certain thing. But I think as parents, it's truly our responsibility for our kids. They tell us who they are from a very early age.
Yes.
And we are here to listen and help that flourish and
thrive,
help that and nourish that.
Yes.
You know, if
100%.
you try to repress that and do like it's going to do
harmful things.
Yeah, harmful things to both parents and I think the kids and the relationships and the relationships that the kids have with the world and everybody else around
their
them.
Attachment.
Like,
yes.
But it's like, and it's, you know, I mean, the internet, I think in general is just a very toxic place for us. I do think like if we had more conversations in person, maybe there would be a little more, you know, leeway, but maybe even not. Like, I mean, it's also everybody's so in their own echo chambers where it's like it's really hard to get people to change their minds even if they're contradicting everything they're saying or whatever. But like I don't know, like I just think like, you know, when people are making a big fuss about like young kids proclaiming that they're gay, it's like it's also like being a kid is figuring yourself out. Like they might change their mind or, you know, they might find something else. Yeah, like there's so many different things that it's just to put shame into a kid, you know, unless they're fucking murdering animals in the backyard or something, you know, it's our job to just like help them, you know, be who they are, and they really do. They show that, you know. I mean, truly. I mean, kind of from the moment they're born, honestly. But,
their personalities start coming through real fast.
You know, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I can understand that there might be people who don't want their kids to like get confused or whatever.
And look, I don't want my kids having sex early, whether they're gay or not. You know?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
And if my kid is gay, like they better keep that door open no matter who they got in the bedroom. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, up until like a certain age and stuff. Like it's like, you know, there are other protective measures like that. There are things that can still keep your kid safe. But like if you don't want your kid to get confused because you think it's more dangerous for them to be queer or whatever, and that they'll be bullied more or whatever, that's when you become a fucking advocate for them.
An ally, boy.
Yeah, exactly. That's when you become an ally, and that's when you defend them and you comfort them when things like that have happened. It shouldn't be the reality that there are these different spaces that a child could be bullied over things like that, and sometimes bullied over things like that when they're not even queer. You know, like there could be some they kids,
just like to paint their nails.
Yeah. There could be some kids that just like a particular aesthetic or whatever, or maybe have certain mannerisms that people identify as like queer or feminine or whatever, or masculine, and then people immediately picking on that and bullying them for that, and then they build this complex when they're like, I'm not even gay, but I've been bullied for it my whole fucking life, you know? And it's just like, that's fucking absurd too. You know, like they're just, that shouldn't be how it fucking is. And, you know, people who argue against pride or whatever, and they're like, well, you know, where's straight people month or whatever? It's like every other month of the year is straight people month. Okay. Straight people have the most visibility and exposure and promotion all the time in most media. You know, it was in like this last decade where there has become more and more like queer content and queer visibility and stuff. But prior to that, man, I mean, it was caricature-y. It was, what's the word? Cliche. It was vapid sometimes, you know, like, I mean, and now we're kind of finally getting to a place of having content that is more real. Well, like say like We Are Here or whatever, like seeing some of those parents and stuff that do actually start to become allies, that was beautiful to see. And I
oh my God, I would cry every episode of those.
I know, dude, they were so good. And it's like, I just want to see more and more of that over time. But it does feel like, with the administration that we're currently under, whatever, they do propagate these different toxic masculine ideals, and I feel like,
well, I think the other thing too,
stunting us,
that like conservatives will blend together of like the idea, because Pride Month, you know, it's a celebration of being gay, but it is also
being
some
free
celebration of free like
expression,
sexual expression without shame, you know. But that's where they're like, well, you're doing like sexual things in front of kids or whatever, and it's like, you know,
I mean, if you don't want your kids to be around a sexually explicit, drag show or something,
that makes complete sense. And also, when drag queens are reading to kids, they're not doing their sexual show thing.
Exactly,
you know,
that's
like,
exactly what I was going to say.
They're just dressed up. That's all.
Yeah,
you know. Yes, are there drag shows where that kind of performance can be involved? But yes, that's at a 21 and over club situation.
Exactly. Yes.
You know,
or at the very least 18 plus.
Or whatever.
You know? So it's like I just feel like that's so silly for people to assume that that's always what drag queens are doing, you know, like, because those drag queens are really just there to read to the kids, to have like a nice fun time, you know, be silly and encourage playfulness and whatever.
Which it was whack that the conservatives were like, teen pregnancy is down. Oh no, you know, because they were when they were like talking about just the overall like rates of people having kids. It's like, we should be happy that teen pregnancy is down. Okay,
yes,
like the
dude.
fuck,
yeah,
like that was so wackadoo. Like where it's just like,
y'all have
your shit is all mixed up. Where it's like, I mean, some of it too, I'm like, is this just more like media than like, and then the media just telling the conservatives like what to think and believe, you know?
Oh yeah.
As opposed to them genuinely just having these thoughts, you know? It's just like, I don't know. But it's just like, it's just, the stuff is all over the place now, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, I do really hope that over time things will improve. But it's hard to see it.
I mean, maybe it's just because I have kids and I'm like really trying to be hopeful over here.
Yeah, like we need that hope.
But I think it can. I mean, you know, Hitler died at some point, and I mean, I'm not saying, listen, I'm not wishing death upon anybody or anything, but I'm just saying his reign ended.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you know, I was gonna. If anything, natural causes. That's what that whenever he goes, natural causes is the way that I want it to happen.
I don't care how it happens. However it happens, I hope it's really painful.
Well, I think that's just ultimately better for the collective. As far as it not instigating something worse. Because I think if it's something that happens retributionally or whatever, then it will inevitably just cause greater divide. Whereas if he goes naturally, then hopefully things can just naturally simmer and we can find a different way forward with less fucking insanity.
Yeah, the pendulum is just swung so hard, but it's got to swing back.
Yeah, that's the way I see it too.
So we'll see, man. We'll see what the future good gosh damn holds.
Yeah, we will. Thank you so much for joining us this episode. And thank you to those that keep coming back, even when we are posting less consistently. We appreciate it so much more than you know. And yes,
and definitely check out Rhonda's open mics, you know, Tuesday and Thursday. Tuesday is the Gypsy open mic. Thursday is Second Story.
Yeah.
Follow her at Rondaloo.
Rondaloo.
To like, you know, have the updates. She always updates her stories.
Yeah,
typically.
check out the music video we made for our friend Kind Coyote. It is something I'm so proud of, honestly. I was like kind of like getting teary when I was editing it and stuff. I look forward to working on things like this with more artists. So if you're interested, DM us and we can start some talks.
Yeah, we filmed another music video for our friend Donnie. That'll be coming out hopefully at the end of this month.
I look forward to that one too.
And
it could make it just in time for Pride. That would be so cool.
That would be amazing, honestly. We'll see.
Editing is a lot, honestly. Like when I was
especially multicam.
Yes, yeah. When I was editing Kind Coyotes, like it was like 4 nights of like staying up the majority of the night and just like editing the whole fucking time. But I wanted to do it. Like he told us like we could take a couple weeks or whatever. And it was like day 4, I had already sent him like a mock-up and stuff. And I was like, it's practically ready. We just have to swap out the audio. And he was like, that's fucking crazy. You guys have been doing so much all the time. And you still did this. And I was like, listen, I was excited. And I was having fun. So yeah, definitely keep your eye out for future creative projects and feel free to hire us for your creative projects. But we freaking love you guys.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll see you next week.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. Indeed. We'll talk to you guys then.
Bye.
Bye.